Hello there, soldiers. My name is Commander Cyrious. Welcome back. Today, I want to chat about the upcoming patch for Planetside 2, that is the construction update. We're going to dive into the things I'm hoping for and what could be really great about it. And we're also going to be spending some time on the things I'm worried about, what may not go so well. The devs have already popped on the subreddit asking for feedback on things. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the upcoming patch down in the comments, so make sure you share. So soldiers, let's drop in Planetside and talk construction. So ladies and gentlemen, as we go through this, I'm really only getting hopeful about things I've seen the devs share. That is, on the subreddit or in official dev letters. My fears the devs may be addressing, we just haven't heard about it from them yet. So we want to share our voices and opinions, we just shouldn't get too worked up on the things we're worried about yet. They may have already found ways to address some of them and just haven't shared about it. Once it hits the public test server, then we can really bring up important criticism to make sure it lands well on live. So guys, first the things I'm very excited about. Construction in general is just getting a big facelift. Alan Lapidus, one of the lead artists, has shared a lot of his work in progress images on some of the construction items, and there are a lot of cool things happening. For example, this is going to be the control point silo at some bases. With this update, construction-specific control points will be silos and already have cordium in them that will regenerate slowly over time. This should mean standing up a base at these locations is much quicker and easier. Also, the Elysian spawn tube is turning into basically a spawn room, so you don't have to worry about immediately being camped when you spawn at a construction base. This is the new bulwark wall that's going to be coming out. One of the problems with current walls is tanks on any minor incline can just shoot over the walls and decimate the inside of your base. I don't know how many you're going to be able to place, but if you work with platoon, you could definitely protect yourself from long-range shelling. And if that scope and scale wasn't big enough, check out this new tower. Alan says there's a spawn room in the tower with a vertical shaft to the roof antenna for fast defense from an elevated position, as well as a spiral staircase down to the roof deck from the spawn room and a grab lift to the deck from the second floor. The bottom line is, what's effectively happening is we're getting new structures in Planetside. And not just new structures, but player-placeable new structures. It kind of feels like we've been playing in a triple stack for the past 10 years. With this new construction system, not only do we get a facelift, but we also get a lot more interesting playable structures. They're also working on a very large bridge structure. Again, Alan says it's a vehicle bridge, wide enough to deploy a Colossus tank on, long enough to span a big gap, and tall enough to bridge the deep valleys of Indar. Of course, everyone's first question is, can it replace the rock bridge? And no, I don't think it's that big. But it is set up that you could create some new interesting angles of attack, especially on Indar and Esmir. Maybe even get over some waterways of Oshur, but not sure there. So this is what the new control point silos will look like out in the wild. So overall, they're going a lot deeper into the visual aspects than I expected. And the most exciting part is that these are really going to be more like structures you can play in rather than just modules and static objects that you play around. This one looks crazy huge. I'm not sure if this is the bottom of that tower we saw or some completely different structure, but it's a big one. So dare I say, this patch is shaping up to be really something. But I want to spend a minute and chat about my concerns. And those mostly swirl around no construction zones, battle flow, and lattice-based construction areas. In the dev letter, they mention places like Solus Nature Annex, Untapped Reservoir, Sunken Relay Station, etc. You guys know these, the 1-minute bases that basically no one ever goes to other than the last minute of an alert. And so it is great that they are adding these lattice-based silos to facilitate construction at these empty places. But here's the deal. Here's the map of Indar, and let's highlight the construction lattice points. Yep, there's 3 of them. Lowland Trading Post, Sunken Relay Station, and Burgess Overlook. As it stands right now, the construction system is basically useless and ineffective everywhere on the map, because of primarily the very large no construction zones and the fact that all the control points are deep in a base that's really just an infantry battle. If they don't do anything about that, and all of these construction updates release and are only useful at 3 of the more than 50 bases on Indar, that is going to be a lot of time and effort that is very, very wasted. Now, I certainly expect this is not the case. I think they have some plans to try to make it more functional throughout the map. We just haven't heard anything about what they are yet. And that makes me worried, very worried to be honest, because I don't think it's an easy problem to solve, both technically and design-wise. But I think it's almost more important to solve than even making construction functional. So there's a couple of things you can do. One thing is reducing the no construction zones. This to me is the easy path, but will create a lot of weird problems. Here you're looking at the beta testing for Oshur before the no construction zones were in. And at the time, someone built a base right on top of Mirror Bay. It was pretty interesting to fight at. You can see by the sky shield how it did get annoying though. I'm willing to suffer through the bugs and annoyances just to spice up some of the bases though that I've been playing at for 10 years. Now that's the easy route. I definitely think they should do some of it in moderation. That is allowing construction bases closer to control points in dev-made bases, with the big caveat of they've got to do something with the flail first. Now, what I think the better way to do it is something that hits a few different problems. It goes after the macro battle flow and tries to fix that. It goes after the problem of tanks having basically nothing to do. While it's called combined arms, it really just ends up being infantry balled on control points that actually make lattices move. By the way, that was the most upvoted Reddit post this month, even with the subreddit being basically dead. People still want a reason to do combined arms. And this solution also makes it so that building construction in between bases has meaning. And that solution is adding more control points in between bases. Here's a mock-up of adding a bunch of capturable silos to the Quartz Ridge camp area on Indar. The heavy lifting is then they have to go modify the hex structure and all of the lattice connections to accommodate the new control points. Time to capture should vary. If it's a large area, you might want to have 3 control points for that hex. It could allow for very large sprawling bases. If it's a tighter area, you might want to keep it to one simple point. Vindicor, of course, did a very interesting mock-up of how you could add control points into the field to encourage field battles. This concept would add macro flow to the fights, make construction have meaning, give vehicle players something to do. More than just 3 vehicle capturable points on Indar, for example. Now, obviously, I've been harping on this for a long time. Yeah, you remember that one? That was 6 years ago now, guys. And you may be thinking it's a plug for something long forgotten. But the reality is it's something that wasn't very necessary for Planetside's direction for a long time. And that is more like shifting towards a persistent shooter with a bunch of little lobbies at different bases. And there's definitely a lot of fun in that realm. The fact that you can jump from fight to fight, not have to wait in the lobby, not have to wait in a queue, just be able to get right into the action. There's a lot of good stuff there. But if we are actually going to take another crack at construction, which I think is a great idea, whether it's Minecraft or Fortnite or Valheim, players love being able to affect the environment in a significant and meaningful way. But if the Planetside update goes into the game much the way the first one did, it's going to have a similar success arc. That is, a lot of curious interest right off the bat, and then rapidly falling off from there. To make it a functional and sustainable part of the game, it has to be worked into the battle flow. It can't be hives that are kind of off to the side and in corners of the map. It can't be orbital strikes and flails that are out of the main battle paths. And it can't be just 3 control points on the map. And pushing it into the map across the entire map is definitely a risky play because Lowland Trading Post, Sunken Relay Station, and Burgess Overlook were sort of put in as a test subject. I would say they haven't been totally successful. When there is a fight at these locations, I have a blast. But that is the anomaly and not the norm. they're mostly ignored or mega dropped at the last few seconds of an alert. So by sort of applying these bases all over the map to really force flow to go through these things and give an opportunity for more construction is a big leap of faith. I don't know if it's fully the right call, and a lot of people that might be super interested in that play may have moved on by now, but I do think Planetside 2 really needs a shakeup, and it's got to take some risks. They've tried just adding new bases, interlink facilities, containment facilities, tridents, and players either get bored of them quickly or they just don't really like them. The player agency that this system creates could be amazing as long as it's not relegated to 3 small bases in each corner of the map. Well, soldiers, that'll be it for now. Until next time, I'm Commander Cyrious, and I will see you Planetside.